What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. We are the Info Junkies. I am Steve, my co-host Quan.
Let's go. What's up?
And this is Sports Talk, where we talk about all things sports. And this is a very special edition of Sports Talk, where we talk about one thing and one thing only: Kirk Cousins. And because I'm a Redskins fan, I'm going to start.
By all means, dude.
What on earth is my team doing? That's the only thing I got to say. Quan, go ahead. No, I'm joking. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, it's a rumor right now. It's not set in stone on what the direction.
No one knows where they're going with Kirk Cousins.
But that's a rumor that's floating around that Cousins might potentially be traded. And that makes no sense. And I'm not even, trust me, I'm a hater of the Redskins. And I'm saying that makes no sense. And
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm not too much into your history. I don't know who's the best quarterback ever in your franchise. But
statistically, right now, it's him.
Yeah.
He's the only quarterback we have that's had a 4,000-yard passing season. He has had he's had 25 touchdowns or more in the last 3 seasons, which is higher than any quarterback we've had since Dan Snyder took over as our head coach. He's thrown for 12 interceptions or less the last 3 seasons. I think he may have thrown for 13 this season. But what are they doing?
He's Mr. Consistent, man.
He is so consistent. 3 back-to-back, count them, back-to-back 4,000-yard passing seasons, including one where he almost reached 5,000 yards. And you can actually kind of say that this year, the reason why he only barely scratched 4,000 yards is because he lost his main 2 targets in the postseason of last year. So what are y'all doing? I can't get past this. What are they doing? I don't understand it.
But this is what's so retarded. You guys have no talent around him.
None.
Everybody is crippled with injuries. The offensive line is shattered. You guys will literally grab an offensive line on the street and throw them into a game. You know, hey, you gonna play football? Come on. You gonna play football? Come on. Like, you just start grabbing people because you just need bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he had no talent around him, and Cousins still put up the numbers that he did.
Yep.
His numbers this season was arguably around the same last year.
Yep.
And that's with the talent that he had last year. So,
as a matter of fact, he actually threw for more touchdowns this year than he did last year.
And you want to trade this guy?
Yeah. I mean, let me just give you the last 3 years. 2015, 4,166 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, QB rating of 101.6. 2016, 4,917 yards, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, QB rating of 97.2. This year, 4,093 yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, QB rating of 93.9. Completion percentage, 69.8, 67, and 64.3 respectively. Consistency. I'm trying to, and here's my thing. I know a lot of people want to blame Dan Snyder. And to some extent, yes, he is the owner of the team. But he's not the one going out looking at the talent anymore. He's not the one he's not the one who's working out the contract. Bruce Allen is the team president. He's the one who's supposed to be doing all this. Mm-hmm. And I like Bruce Allen personally. I do. I think Bruce Allen's a great man, a great American, all that kind of good stuff. I'm trying to understand the mentality of the front office. I don't get it. Even Doug Williams. They brought Doug Williams, and he's supposed to be this, great former Redskin. He's supposed to he can see talent. He's supposed to be able to see these kinds of things. And yet, even his comments about Kirk is like, from back off-season past. Mm-hmm. It's like, what do you think? What are you talking about, dude? This guy's way better than you ever were. So, I mean, it's like, what are you talking about? I mean, he basically acted like they had all the cards, like the Redskins have all the cards. You have no cards.
Exactly.
You had all the cards that first season when you could have gotten him for $19 million a year.
Kept franchise tagging him, and now he's to the point where Cousins is 32 million. They were franchise him.
If you franchise tag him this year, it's like 32.5, I think.
That's insane. Just pay him.
I mean, in order to even get him to sneeze at a contract, you have to offer him at least $30 million. to get him to sneeze at it. 30 million for 3. I mean, that to me is the smallest contract he'll even.
But the Redskins could have saved a lot more money if they would have just signed him from
in
the
first
beginning.
year. Exactly. Sign him in the first year. Give him. You'd be paying. I think the first tag was like 18 million. I would have offered him 19.5 a year and said, look, 19.5 for 4 years or whatever.
Right.
You know, we would save a crap ton of money. But right now, like I said, in order to get him to sneeze at it, you have to at least offer him $30 million. The tag is 32. So in my mind, he's probably going to be looking for 33.
Why would he take less than what the tag is?
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying.
More than that.
But my thing is, just for him to sneeze at it. I mean, I'm just for him to wake up in the morning, pick it up off his nightstand and look at it. Yeah. It's got to be at least 30 on the paper.
Right.
So, but I mean, I don't understand what they're thinking about with this. I mean, you look at what we've gone through since Dan Snyder took over. You have Brad Johnson. I can't name all of them. I can name pretty much all the quarterbacks from Patrick Ramsey to Mark Brunell to Jason Campbell to Donovan McNabb to Rex Grossman and the guy that was with him that year. Then we got the problems that we had with RG3, that era where I don't even want to relive that. I mean, because that was a nightmare. But now you come to Kirk, and even going back to the old school Redskins, you get, the great Sonny Jorgensen, Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, Mark Rippon, the great Redskins quarterbacks. He ranks up there, definitely stat-wise, with them. I mean, he's the only quarterback we've ever had that has a 4,000-yard passing season, much less 3.
But my thing is that you get a quarterback of his caliber. He's rare. That's a rare breed of Cousins. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks like him in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And most teams, including the Broncos, because that's one of the teams that's rumored.
Yeah.
To John Elway, he's a go-getter. So
Elway won the Peyton Manning sweepstakes. He got Peyton Manning to come to Denver. When Elway wants you, he's gonna get you.
So if Redskins decide to let him go, I best believe John Elway's
gonna offer him the money. I mean, come on, Denver's.
A lot of money.
Denver has an eye for talent. They paid Peyton Manning all that money. The only reason why they didn't pay Brock Osweiler all that money because he had only played 5 games. And it's like, we're not going to pay you all that money for 5 games. But Cousins
he's well worth all
has proven. I mean, last year, the only reason why, once again, last year and this year, the only reason why we were 8-7-1 last year, and the only reason why we had a potential to have a winning season this year was because of Kirk. If Kirk wasn't our quarterback, we would have been like 2-14.
If you had a quarterback in your situation with all the injuries, you guys are barely winning games. I'm talking about like 2-14. They say 1-5, like terrible.
I mean, look at some of the games we had. I mean, you're talking about teams like Minnesota. Top 10 defense. Teams hadn't scored more than, I think it was like 17 points on them. We scored 30 points. New Orleans, top 10 defense. Teams weren't scoring more than like 14 points on them. We scored 31 points on them. I mean, we clearly, because with injuries. I mean, the one game, like you said, when you said earlier, where we literally signing guys off the street. The one game we literally signed an offensive, I think it was offensive tackle. Saturday, he met Kirk Cousins in the locker room Sunday morning.
Say, hey, I'm your O.
I'm your O-line. Didn't even know the playbook.
Exactly, man.
And we still were in games. I mean, it just doesn't.
But he's the reason why, and a lot of Redskin fans that I know personally have said we need to let go of Cousins. He's the reason why we're not reaching that next level.
No, it's not him.
Are you kidding me?
It's not him.
It's because of him you're even relevant.
Look at how many injuries we had this year. Chris Thompson was probably, to me, the biggest offensive hit we took.
Because, he was the leading wide receiver.
Exactly. And we couldn't really run screens. I mean, Jamison Crowder was fumbling the ball everywhere. I mean, Jordan Reed once again, only played like 5 games.
Yeah, you just flip a coin.
Right, you flip a coin exactly. So, I mean, inconsistencies at offensive line, inconsistencies at running back. We have not had a running back since Alfred Morris's rookie year.
Yeah.
I mean, we have not had a running back. You got Chris Thompson, who's a great receiving back. Perine has potential as a great running back, but we do not have a solid run game. And we still need to solidify that O-line more. I mean, it's just, but how can we build if we don't sign him, Kirk? And here's the thing.
He's a centerpiece.
I mean, because here's the thing. You got 3 different people on this whole thing. You got to me, the always Kirk. You got the never Kirk. And then you got the fire everybody's. Mm-hmm. To me, the always Kirk is people like me. Sign Kirk now. He's the answer. And you got the never Kirk people that, like you said, they said get rid of Kirk because he's the problem. You want to blame the quarterback for all the problems. And then you have the idiots who think we need to start all over again. Fire Jake Gruden, fire Bruce Allen, if they could fire Dan Snyder, they would. Right. And I'm like, you get nowhere like that. Look at the progress that Jay Gruden has made. 2015, 2016, we had back-to-back winning seasons. We almost had triple winning seasons. Jay Gruden, his first head coaching gig, we'll be going into it, his 5th year. Mm-hmm. You get, of course, it doesn't look like we're going anywhere, but we had potential to be like a 12-4, 11-5 team. If the team had stayed healthy, we had a lot of potential. Everybody just got injured. To me, the only tenable position, if you're a true Redskins fan, is always Kirk. We have to sign Kirk Cousins. If you get rid of him and go to the draft, who are you going to get? We're not top draft picks. Yeah. So most of the quarterbacks are probably going to be gone by the time. I mean, of course, people, drafts change. Sometimes a quarterback will drop. But do you want to live off of somebody not drafting a quarterback?
Is he going to be better than Cousins? No.
Right. Because now you got a rookie QB who's got to learn how to play in the NFL.
And learn your system.
Let's talk about free agency. Alex Smith, old as dirt. Jimmy Garoppolo was in San Fran. He's done. He's off the table. What was it? Josh McCown, maybe. He may hit I don't want him. Case Keenum has a solid job now in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. Okay, Sam Bradford. Pretty good. Not a bad QB, but not is he Kirk? No. Teddy Bridgewater. Injury prone. Do you really want him? My answer is no. To me, he's more so of an RG3 type QB. Someone who's an athlete first, QB second.
And look, this is one of the main criticisms that I hear all the time. Now, I want to ask you, because I don't know if you agree. I'm pretty sure you're not going to agree. One of the main criticisms of Cousins is when the game is on the line, when it's time for crunch time, he doesn't come through. That's why they want him gone. Because it's like he shows up before it's showtime, but then when we really need Kirk to make that throw, he never does it.
My thing, yes and no. And I say that because there are games when he shows up and games when he doesn't. For instance, last year, 2016, when we played Detroit, he showed up. The defense lost that game because they would not stop Matt Stafford. When we tied the game with the Bengals, the kicker missing those field goals. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why we didn't win that game.
Even this year.
That's what I'm saying.
What was number 18? 18? On the wide receiver. When I dropped that pass.
Doxson dropping the pass in the KC game.
In the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Dropping.
He made the pass. How about the Seattle Seahawks game? Clutch game. That deep pass he threw to Doxson that Doxson actually got. The pass he threw to Brian Quick caught over the shoulder. The game against y'all, especially the second one where y'all demolished us. I mean, Jamison Crowder was fumbling the ball everywhere. How do you make the throw when they went? I catch the first interception. Jamison Crowder pretty much passed it off to the guy. How do you make those plays when your team around you isn't making the plays?
Even in New Orleans,
special teams sucked. New Orleans, he stepped up.
That was a head coaching issue. Like
yes,
the play
New Orleans was the play calling. I mean, I could have a whole video on the play calling of that game, just that game, not the rest of the season, just that game, because it ticked me off. But
Cousins the issue, right?
What I'm saying, Cousins, yes and no. Cousins is a human being. Human beings are fallible. We make mistakes. But just to say that, he never shows up when the game's on the line, that's not true. Sometimes it's him. Sometimes it's the coaching. Sometimes it's other players. There's different factors in every game. It's not always the quarterback while we're losing. I mean, once again, you put Eli Manning. You don't have to put him in my position because he was in a similar position in New York. Yeah. All their players got injured.
And look at their record.
And look at what happened to them. They bombed out. Yeah. So I mean, you can say all day long, it's Kirk. Yes, sometimes it is Kirk. The Minnesota game to me. If Kirk doesn't throw that interception at the end of the second quarter, we win that game.
But more times than not, it's not Cousins.
More times than not, he performs. You can't say he doesn't perform with the stats that he puts up. You cannot say it.
He's the reason why you guys are even relevant.
Exactly.
The sole reason.
2016, we didn't have a defense. 2015, we didn't have a defense. This year, we were building a defense, and then everybody gets injured. We lose 2,000-yard receivers because of the front office. I mean, you cannot say it's all Kirk. The simple fact that he put up this many, the stats he put up without his primary 2 targets, he had to relearn.
A shatter off line.
A shatter off line, and he had to learn new receivers. It's not all Kirk. It's not all his fault. Sign him to a contract.
Should be encouragement.
We need to build off of Kirk.
And sign players.
Yes, sign players, but build off of Kirk, not try to build towards Kirk's replacement.